Coldplay, The Scientist. Have you seen the video of that?
Great, it's just brilliant.
I think I might have worked out. What is, he's walking backwards, it's all filmed backwards, but he's singing forward. Now, the only way I can work out they've done it without CGI in it and cheating with the lips is that he had to learn it backwards and did it sort of like bit by bit. Did he do that?
He was on Zoe's show like about a week ago or something, and so he sang it backwards.
So he learned phrases and they filmed that. Yeah. But he didn't learn the whole song, did he? He couldn't possibly have learned the whole song. He must have like stopped it and...
don't know.
It's a great video though. They always do a good video.
No, it's very good indeed.
So it was, yeah, The Scientist on XFM. Wonderful one. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant and Karl Pilkington.
I had a bit of good news this morning.
Go on.
I was on the tube coming down, and I don't want to sound arrogant, I don't want to sound pushy, but I was at Green Park, and I'm fairly certain, Rick, it's not 100% corroborated, I'm fairly certain that a woman pinched my arse. So what do you think of that? Yes.
There's a lot of pickpockets around Green Park.
No, my wallet was still there.
Really?
But even if it wasn't, you know, that would have been money well spent. But the wallet was still there, so what do you think of them apples? Eh?
So what did you just pinch off?
I can't confirm it at this stage, exactly what happened, but it certainly felt like a pinch. I looked round, there was a woman behind me.
Right.
She was fairly old. I think she's probably in her mid-30s.
Right.
Kind of reddish hair.
Right.
I don't know if she's listening.
Right.
But, she knows where I am. And, so I don't know how to proceed, really, Rick. I don't know if it's worth putting up some posters around the Green Park area.
Well, what you could
just to try and corroborate it. If you saw a woman pinch the lanky guy's arse,
you could probably get in, contact with British Rail and go back over their
CCTV cameras, yeah.
And then they could probably zoom in and, you know, sort of identifying sort of birthmarks, or she might have been holding something.
Then I could hire a private eye. Yeah. Again, money well spent.
Well, so there you go.
You know, I'm just saying maybe maybe things are looking up.
Things
it's getting towards Christmas.
The worm has turned.
I mean, you know, it's a little, sexy story to get the show going.
it is
but what do you make of that then, Carl? I know you're quite damning. What's your answer?
Well, I mean, you're quite a tall fella.
Sure.
So, she must have really wanted to sort of reach up and have a pinch.
Do you know you think she was a dwarf? She did it with her teeth?
He didn't say she was a dwarf.
No, but Steve's taller than, you know, his arse.
Yeah, but his arse isn't 6'9", is it? His arse is about 3 foot off the floor.
4 foot?
What?
4 foot off the floor?
No, I don't think so. About 3. She'd have to be a midget to have to reach up to pinch Steve's arse. He is very tall, but...
I don't know what your point is there, Carl. You're just trying to, you're just, I think maybe just a little bit jealous. Just a little bit of jealousy.
Well, do you know what happened to me on the way in?
Go on.
A homeless person called me a dickhead.
How did he know? Do you know him? Is that what?
He's like the local big issue fella.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And he knows me, he sees me walking up and down the street.
Oh, that's how he knew you.
Right. So normally I have a bit of a chat with him and that. And I walk past him. And, you know, I can be a little bit cheeky with him, because I've been cheeky with him in the past with stuff.
You pinched his arse?
No, just, you know, saying stuff like, God, you're always there, I mean, you got home to go to, and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, just breaking the ice, go on.
He knows, and he laughed at that, right, last time, so I thought I can be a bit cheeky, right? So he goes, do you want a big issue? I said, no. He said, come on, I've got loads of them, right? So I sort of said, when I was a kid, and I used to do a free paper around the free papers one. I said, just put them in the bin and go home. Right? And he went, yeah, but how am I going to get any money doing that, you dickhead?
You see, I can see his point. He is homeless and having to sell newspapers to get 50p or a quid or whatever.
Yeah, and sometimes I treat him, right? And today I didn't have any money. I had a takeaway last night, and I normally give them a quid, and I felt bad not being able to do that because I didn't have any money on me last night. Right. I couldn't look him in the eye.
Did you explain this to the homeless person, the traumas of the takeaway without the tip? Did you explain that, you know, you've had it hard as well? I go, look, you don't.
I had food delivered to my warm flat.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah, you don't know what that's like. You don't know what the trauma is because you can't have food delivered to your flat because you haven't got one. So please don't look at me like that. You should have said.
But most people ignore him. At least I gave him a bit of acknowledgement and sort of...
took the mick.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was. I just was being friendly.
No, I know.
You gotta be careful with the homeless, because this is true, and this is, you know when the clocks went back recently, so you got an extra hour in bed?
Yeah.
And, I was at Cash Point with a friend of mine, and there was a homeless person sat by the Cash Point, and, you know, we would get some money out, and she said, spare some change, and my friend's, he's a bit awkward, he's just trying to make conversation with her, he went, clocks go back. Extra hour in bed.
Oh no.
I gave her £2. I felt so bad. He didn't do it intentionally. He didn't realise what he said. Just making conversation.
Bumbling.
It's tricky making conversation with the homeless, because there's so many areas you've got to avoid. You know, what was on the telly.
Yeah.
You know.
Although I get recognised by homeless people and think, are they, I don't know where...
Well, you've got to remember that's very much your demographic, Rick.
Yeah.
You know, people who watch TV through the window of Dixon's.
Yeah, in Dixon's. Yeah, there was Ricky Gervais is on.
Yeah. Well, they can smell the alcohol on you. They think you're one of them.
I've had to cut down on that. I've been really good with this training thing.
The boxing.
Play a record and I'll tell you about that. I had my first week of training. I'm in trouble. I'm struggling.
What do you want to play?
Oh, we've got a bit of, have we? Stone Roses, classic.
Feeder, Come Back Around, XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Alright? Yeah, so I had my first week of training for this, charity boxing. For those people who don't know, I'm fighting Grant Bovey, Anthea Turner's husband. It sounds arbitrary, but it's actually because he's, at 41 and about my weight, a bit taller, I think. But, and we've never done it before, but, no, it'd be fun. Battling someone for charity.
Yes.
No, but, it's, and I can't believe my luck, because I've been a fight fan for like 30 years, and they took me shopping, they bought me all the gear, and the training's great. It's really hard. I mean, it's, I imagine it'd be really hard, and it's probably slightly harder than I imagined. And the only bit I like, so I don't like all the exercise and all the stuff you've got to do. I like the bits that look a bit like something I've seen in a Rocky film.
Right, sure.
You know, we did that thing with the string along the ring and I have to pop up and punch and that.
Right.
That was great.
Right, nice.
Skipping's not bad. I'm trying to get good at that. I like that ball that you go...
Yeah. Are you any good at that? Is that...
I'm getting good at it. Quite honestly.
And what's that teaching you, that particular thing? It's just the rhythm, is it?
It's rhythm, and of course your arms are up for that long, so you've got to keep your guard up all the time. Yeah. So that teaches you to keep your arms up. And you were
up at 6 this morning, you broke some raw eggs into a cup and you ran up the steps of the town hall, didn't you? I know.
With loads of people following me, and I shouted, Bovey! at the top. No, I'm not going mad, just, you know, once every other day. But I'm struggling now. I woke up today and it's like I'd been hit by a car.
Yeah.
Just everything aches, so the muscles you haven't used. But, anyway, I had a meeting, the first time with the people, the program makers, because they're following me for a month and everything, and Grant as well. And they said, you need a sort of nickname, just for a laugh. And I went, what's Grant using? They said, I think he's gonna use Gorgeous Grant Bovey, or Grant. I went, I don't know, so I better go against that. What about, Ricky Gervais?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And, yeah, so, anyway, I had a meeting with Frank Maloney, meeting the next day, and, it's sort of, you know, you've got to do this nickname, and the bloke said, I checked out that name, you can't call yourself Jippo. I went, well, of course I can't, I was joking. He went, well, I said, well, it's racist, I was joking, I was making a joke about me, and then he went, I don't know. And then, I went down to get buy all the gear from this shop.
They'd have the dressing game made?
Yeah. And I was picking all the stuff, I was going, look, that's like Naz wore. Oh, look, that's like Ali wore and I'm going, I'll have that, picking all the gear and everything. And, there was a couple of boxers down there, sort of like looking at me thinking, who's that fat bloke taking up boxing at 40? And, I said, I wasn't. And, the bloke went, yeah, how you doing? I went, yes, how long have you been in the game? He said, I've been boxing 20 years. So how many fights you had? He said, about 40. I said, yeah, help me, I've got to think of a nickname. And I thought, Ricky Balboa Gervais. He went, right. I went, or Ricky Marciano Gervais. He looked at me and went, what about Ricky Martin? Oh dear.
Absolutely justified.
Yeah, I'm not respected yet in the boxing world.
No, sure.
But I mean,
it's only a matter of time. Once they see you fight, Rick, everything's gonna change. So, have you actually punched anyone yet? Have you actually? No, I've punched pads, and I've punched the bag, and I've sort of sparred and that. I know you're gonna get a chance to punch someone.
As I suspected, my punching power's alright, but my fitness is, I mean, it felt like I was smoking.
Yeah.
You know, but there's you know, bits of lung that haven't had oxygen in them for 20 years.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous. And also because it's not only is being filmed, but there's the other fighters there that are ridiculous. They're like machines, right? And it's that thing. I can go right. I can come out on top, but die now of a heart attack, but never give up. Or I can sit down and go, I'm sorry, I feel ill. And I chose that one, and of course they took the mick.
Well, of course.
But I mean, you know, soon, you know, as I said, I haven't got the respect yet of the boxing fraternity, but
and how long have you got then before?
4 weeks.
Okay, so, and do they think that they can turn you around health-wise in that time?
No, they're
going to be coming out on a Zimmer
No, they're gonna, you know, they're gonna teach me the basics and see how it goes, you know, but I mean, you know,
and each round is 4 seconds, is that right?
Yeah, yeah, 2 4-second rounds.
With a 2-hour break in between each one. Sit down meal.
So, give the number. I want serious suggestions of my fighting name. Nothing insulting, something we can actually use.
Well, let's give out the email, that's always the easiest. Ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk. What's the number, Carl?
08700 800 1234.
And it doesn't have to be in the middle, it could be at the beginning, like, the Rage.
Okay.
Ricky the Rage.
Ricky the Tits. Yeah, sure.
Ricky the Man, play a record.
What would happen? Right, here's another question. This is one that I'd chuck out to kids as well. We were talking about education, teaching kids stuff.
Sure.
What would happen, right? We ruin this world, right? Goes wrong and that, right? They shut it down. They go, we're moving. We go to another planet.
It's as simple as that in his world. It's as simple as that.
We can't go to Mars because it's full of stuff that used to be in Dixon's.
It's like a tip.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. So we can't go there. We go somewhere else.
Something that I've always wondered about, if we do that, do we start New Year's or do we carry on? What do you know what I mean? Do we say, oh, it's still 2006, or do we go, it's world new, whatever, new world?
That is definitely the first priority.
It's year one, right? We've sorted that out. Right now,
Well, it depends, doesn't it? Because a year might not be the same on this planet.
We'd sort that out, right? We'd sort out what year it is and that.
Well, no. What I'm saying is, we'd have to start again anyway, because the planet might not take 1 year as we know it to go around the sun. It might not take a day to turn. A day is a day because that's how long it takes.
Yeah, but we'd have to carry on as we know, because we don't want to start doing longer days and that. Otherwise, they'll just kick off and say, "This is rubbish. This new world. What are you doing?"
No, I'm
doing a 28-hour day.
We wouldn't have a choice. A day is how long it takes the planet to turn, and a year is how long it takes that planet to go around the sun.
But a day is man-made, really. There's places in the world where they're working in the dark, isn't there, in Iceland and that? But they don't go, well, it's dark all the time, so I'll stay in bed.
Well, no, but there's still a day. It's still 24 hours in a day in Iceland.
Yeah, but we only work by that clock because that's what people use at the moment when they go, what time is it? You go, it's 20 past 11.
No. We use that because that's how long it takes the planet we're on to
I've never worried about it like that. I've just always
Well, no, I'm telling you,
that's because you weren't asked to get involved when they came up with the idea.
I'm telling you, that's what a day is. It's how long it takes your planet to What do you mean? What?
No, I'm just saying that's fine and everything. But if when I was born, people said there's 26 hours in a day, I'd go, fair enough. I'm not going to argue.
We could have made up how long an hour is. Yeah, we could have made hours shorter and get 26
Well, they're saying they're going to do that. Because,
no, they're not.
No, they are, because there's so many people in the world.
Yeah.
This is what I was talking about before. They've got to create more jobs. The only way to have more jobs, keep shops open, take on more people. Everyone's happy.
That makes no sense at all.
Right. Say if there's 28 hours in a day.
Yeah, it'd still be 24 hours long as we used to know it.
No, you'd have like, oh, what time is it? Oh, it's like 20 past 25 or whatever.
Well, you're not making any sense at all.
No, I'm just saying.
The Earth would still take 24 hours as we know it now.
Forget it.
Hang on a minute, I want, there's more interesting territory here.
Don't forget, our sleep patterns have evolved on a day. The reason we sort of like go to sleep at night and have about 8 to 10 hours sleep is because that's our evolution.
No, but that's only, that's just because that's what we've got used to, isn't it?
Yeah.
You look at a sloth, that's asleep all the time. It's doing what it wants.
But it evolved differently, didn't it?
Right, you can't get away. You're not getting away with this anymore. If you want to live now, join in with us.
Well, it's that time again. It's the feature that the world is saying could rival Monkey News one day. Ready?
Oh, what's he written today?
Well, Carl's diary. You didn't explain what it was. Sunday, got up. Sunny day, so went for a walk in the park. There was a bloke walking down the street who was whistling some kind of annoying tune. He seemed quite happy with himself. Do people only whistle when they're happy? I don't whistle very much.
It's a good point. Whistling is so inane to me. But yeah, it's sort of like going, I'm content, it really is that thing that if they go, you go, well, Mr. Mellors, I'm afraid, I've got some bad news. Not only has your wife died, but you've lost the house. Thanks, Doctor.
Wouldn't happen, would it?
No, you don't
right,
whistle
does it?
when
Yeah.
you're sad. The other place you hear it, of course, is changing rooms. And that's men going, I'm whistling, so I'm not looking at your cock. How could I be? I'm concentrating on whistling.
The lake was frozen over where I was walking. The ducks looked worried. They were sat on the edge of the lake waiting for it to melt. Were they, Carl?
Yeah, we just sat there looking, sort of going, oh, what's going on? I don't know. How long is a duck's memory? Because I wondered whether they're going, this doesn't seem right, but I don't know why.
I asked Suzanne why ducks don't use their wings much. They seem to walk and swim more and don't bother using their wings. Suzanne said she had to call her mum and dad, so I never got an answer.
The old excuse. Yeah. Suzanne, I can't talk now, Carl.
Gotta phone my mum. There was a marathon type run going on in the park. It reminded me of the time when we were moving flat. It was the day of the London Marathon. Me and Suzanne were walking down the middle of the road taking some stuff to our new flat. I was carrying a lamp and a kitchen bin. People were clapping me, thinking I was doing some kind of fun run.
Why were you walking on the same route?
Because it was when we lived on the Docklands.
Oh, brilliant.
There was no other route. The flat was just about 100 yards down the road.
They're going, look at the bloke with the bald wig. He's carrying a lamp and a bin.
Took a bag of old clothes to Oxfam. It was just old t-shirts and a couple of jumpers with holes in it. I don't think anyone will buy them. But the Oxfam is closer to the flat than the wheelie bin is. On the tube on the way back home, saw an advert for a book about a woman who works in a funeral home. She went into work one day, she goes to work on a body, she takes the sheet off of one of the bodies, and it looks exactly like her. This is called a doppelganger.
What's a doppelganger to you?
It's the thing I read about him ages ago where someone was walking down the street.
Yeah, and he sees someone who looked a bit like him.
And no, this was weirder than that.
Go on.
He remembers, like, going down that street as a kid on his bike, whistling.
Yeah.
And then he's walking down the street, going to get some milk or whatever from the shop. Little bike comes whizzing past. He hears the whistling, he goes, that's weird. Looks at it, it was him when he was a kid. So it's like a time.
Shit. What do you mean it was him as a kid?
This is like a different form of doppelganger. It's just
It's impossible, it's rubbish.
some sort of time thing, isn't it?
No, it's
time,
not even that's impossible, so don't
It's
worry
just some
about
kind
it.
of time thing, Rick. No.
Yeah, it's
just
something
some
you
kind of time
read
thing.
again on the internet, or it was a short story, or something someone told you.
On my walk back from the tube, I saw a jogger who was pushing a pram at the same time. The kid looked terrified. Got my science book out. It said that the static you get on the telly when a channel isn't tuned in properly is radiation that is still knocking about from when the Big Bang happened. I thought about the Big Bang and wondered if it was really a Big Bang or did it just sound louder as there was no other noise to drown it out.
Good point, though, isn't it?
Carl's diary, Rick, never ceases to amaze.
Oh, well, it's that time now. Yeah? It's the big one.
Oh, chimpanzee, that monkey news!
Right, there was this
Monkey?
this fella, right, who he had a problem with his eyes, right?
Yeah.
So he goes to the doctors and he goes, I've got a problem with my eyes. And he goes, yeah, they bad them, right? He goes, it was in America, you know, like how you have to pay for medical stuff and all that. And the doctor said, oh, if I fix them, it's going to be like 10 grand, right? He's like, but I haven't got the money, doctor. He goes, well, I can't help you then. You know, there's a lot of people with bad eyes like them. Can't do anything for you. So he goes, oh, it's getting worse. Can't do anything. So anyway, so he goes home.
Is that the price of human eyes, is it?
So he goes home, he's looking in the paper, right? And he sort of sees in the adverts at the back. And there's a little advert there saying cheap doctors, right?
No, bollocks.
Oh, no.
No.
So he's thinking, oh, maybe that's what I need, right? So he calls them up. Woman's there. She's like, wait, what can I do? He goes, I've got bad eyes and that. She says, oh, come in tomorrow, we'll sort them out. She's like, brilliant, I'll see you then. Right? So he goes down there and he says, right, you know, I can hardly see. My eyes have got in really bad state and what have you.
Right.
Need to have them sorted out. I don't know what you do, whatever you do, I need
Now,
doing.
his eyes are so bad, can he see the doctors?
Not really,
Can't
sort
really
of
see
squinting
squinting.
and that, but, you know, so he's like, do I need to see the doctor to, you know, have a word and tell him what problem? She's like, no, don't worry about that.
Don't worry about
Just,
it.
No, I'd be comfortable if it's a
just you know, just let me inject you, and we'll knock you out, and we'll get on with it. And it's
we'll
like,
get the
well,
doctor in.
Can I just tell you something about chimps as well, just before you continue?
Go on.
You know, they don't have opposable thumbs.
Now,
which is
why
what-
are opposable thumbs useful? Rick?
Well, to grip something, to do anything like, you know, even simple stuff like writing, so let alone surgery. So without an
But
opposable
can I just check
thumb-
now?
go on.
So if I was a doctor and I was doing any form of difficult surgery, would I need opposable thumbs?
You'd need opposable thumbs
To be a
And-
doctor,
And without
eventually.
you couldn't do anything. You
Th-
could.
thanks for clearing that up.
Because the opposable thumb allowed something in our evolution called the precision grip.
Right.
So without that, you couldn't do anything.
I'm just glad they've got that cleared up, thanks.
So anyway, so he's had the injection, he's nodding off and what have you, right? His eyes are sort of closing and that, he hears the door open, he sort of just sees this little fella come in and he's like, hello doctor, and he's trying to like make a chat with it,
Sure.
but like, he's just
It?
nodding off. No, just,
Oh,
he
never
or
call
she,
it a doctor.
he or she.
These people have done 7 years medical
Deeply
training.
respected people.
How could you call it it?
so anyway, he thought, oh, it's weird he didn't answer, but you know, doctors can be quite moody, you know, they're highly intelligent, they don't need
Especially little airy ones.
well, just idle chit-chat, there's no room for that, do you know what I mean? It's like, I'm here
Yeah,
to do a job.
yeah, but if I'm going in to have my eyes done, I want a little bit of idle chimp chat.
So anyway, time passes, right? He sort of wakes up and he opens his eyes, right? And it's brilliant. He can't believe it.
Eyes are perfect.
He's had the op. He can't believe the sight. He's like, nurse, right? And the nurse comes in because I can't believe it. This is brilliant. I've never had this such good sight. Do you know what I mean? Even when I was a baby,
Yeah.
and my eyes were new,
Yeah.
I didn't see this good.
Great.
So she's like, well, you know, that's
You realise the nurse is a panda.
that's what we do, right? So he said, right, so can I just see the doctor and just say thanks and that? She's like, well, to be honest, you know, he's specialised in what he does. There's a lot of
What a
work.
load of bollocks this is getting.
Please.
Where did you get this from?
No, come on, let's hear the end of the news.
There's a lot of like operations he's got to do.
Yeah.
So you know, leave him to it. He's just having a kip. You know, I'll let him know that you were grateful. You know, pays the check. Off you go. Go and enjoy looking at stuff.
Yeah.
So he said, no, just what's wrong with that? I just want to see that. She's
No,
like,
that's
no,
fine.
leave it. Just leave.
Yeah, exactly. Leave it. If
And
he
he's
says
like,
pay the
yeah,
check.
but I can't. You know, I want to thank him. So he's done such a good thing for me. So they're getting into a bit of an argument and what have you, and the voices are raising, right? Door opens.
Gonna wake the doctor up.
Well, that's what they did. They woke it up, right?
They
So-
woke it up.
It.
So the door opens, right? Little monkey comes out, and he's like, "What's going on here? It's hospital. Why is the a monkey knocking about?"
Yeah.
So the woman said, "Well, what do you mean? He's the doctor, right?" So he's like, "You are having a laugh, aren't you?" She goes, "Look, don't complain. Your eyes are sorted.
Yeah.
You know, the doctor's done it. What's the problem?" He said, "Well, if I'd have known that, I wouldn't have come here." She said, "Well, what do you mean you didn't know that?" She said, "The advert in the paper you read, it's like chimp doctors."
That is the biggest load of shit I've ever heard. That really is the worst.
What? And because his eyes were so bad, he thought it said cheap doctors.
He saw the advert and it said chimp doctors, but because his eyes were bad, he just saw it.
What
as-
journal is this in?
It was years ago because it sort of says how the monkey sort of carried on working for a few years. He couldn't do anything
Then
about
just
it. He had to
retired to
leave
play
it.
golf.
It's absolute bollocks.
It's
There's
abs-
no way. I mean, it's not even worth talking about.
So-
It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
It's the most ridiculous monkey news you've ever heard, and that's saying something.
Chimp doctors, cheap. It's easy mistake.
On this album as well is The Killing of George. Georgie Part 1 and 2, remember? About the gay bloke. Georgie Boy was gay, I guess. His favourite song. Carl's favourite song,
Yeah.
right? And I was going, oh yeah, I remember that, yeah. I said about, and I said, did not intend to take his life, he just pushed it when he gets mugged and killed. Do you know what he said?
Go on.
I was sitting outside, I was singing, and he went, well, as I said, they go out too late.
They go out too
Yeah,
late.
he meant gay people go out too late. He went, no, they do. I went, what do you mean? He said, well, they're always out, they go out when people are coming home. He said, if he'd have been in bed by 10, he'd still be alive today.
That's a sobering lesson.
And he went,
Carl.
there's one that works here and he's shattered every Monday.
Oh, if you're gay and you're listening, just be in bed earlier. Go
Yeah.
out when sensible people go out.
Yeah.
You're right, we're not on the continent, Carl.
If you're gay and you're not in bed by 10, go home.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
First cut is the deepest, Rod Stewart.
Song.
Air, Don't Be Light, XFM, 104.9, 5 to 2.
Absolutely.
Ricky Gervais with me,
Steve
Merchant, Smirch,
Smirch.
the Smirch,
The Smirch.
and the K-Man, KP, Karl Pilkington, the K-Man.
Pressing the buttons.
Yeah. See that in Heat this week?
What was it?
About the campaign to stop Karl going back to Manchester. You know, because he's a miserable sort of northerner who goes, London's crap and I'm going to go back up north.
Yeah.
and I only need 40 quid a week to live up there like king, and all that sort of rubbish. Right, well, Boyd from Heat, look, well, we met him at the, that award ceremony.
Oh, yeah.
And, we were saying about, oh yeah, he really enjoys Carl. He's getting a lot of people like Carl. And I was going, oh yeah, but he's thinking of leaving. He's going, oh, start a campaign. And he did, and he put it in there. So the campaign, so write in if you like Carl. If you think he's really annoying, then we'll stop talking to him.
Yeah.
But I mean, I like him.
I love him.
Yeah.
Have you ever read the, White Van Man column in The Sun, Carl?
I've seen it.
Have you familiar with this? This is where every day in The Sun they interview a guy who drives a white van, just, in order to get the kind of voice of the man on the street in the paper. And he has to answer, or just give his opinions, really, on, events that have made the news each week. Just thought we could maybe throw some of these at you, Carl.
Go on.
Because we know to see what your views are.
Yeah.
So, just the first thing that comes into your mind, the sort of, your initial reaction to each of these,
top all these, but you don't need to know about them, it's just your philosophy on it,
yeah,
so.
just your views.
You know, yeah.
I have had a few days off this week, remember, so I don't know what's going on in the world.
Yeah, I mean, you stayed in London though, didn't you?
Yeah,
You didn't bury yourself, did you?
I normally see the news, but I didn't this week.
Okay. So what was your view on Will Young beating Gareth Gates in the final of Pop Idol?
Don't like him. You know what I was thinking about when I was watching it all the way through?
Yeah.
How he looks like he's got a wire coat hanger in his gob. That sort of...
Right.
Get his radio, Carl.
Radio.
It's a great face.
The funny face you're pulling doesn't
Yeah,
translate.
and, a radio.
And that's a problem for you, is it?
And just the way he's from a really rich family. I opened up the paper on the Monday or something, and it had like, he went to a posh school and he's got loads of money already.
Yeah.
It's just a bit...
Okay. Right, now, what's the second question?
There have been huge rises in street crime, especially muggings and carjackings. What's your view there?
More youth clubs are needed, aren't there?
You think more youth clubs?
I like that.
No? Okay.
I like that because it's so 1950s.
Yeah,
it's sort of like you want a Bobby on the beat that'll clip you around the ear.
So once they've come out of national service...
yeah! No, I love that. And if you find someone smoking a wood bomb, you make them smoke 50.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, this is great. That is great.
Did you used to go to, youth clubs?
Yeah.
And they kept you out of trouble?
You used to get into a fight afterwards when you came out.
But for the sort of hour and a half you were there?
You had a bit of pool and some boxing and a bit of pop.
Yeah.
So more youth clubs, that's good.
I love him. I love him. If you're at home, just make notes, because this is brilliant stuff. Honestly, you won't hear more honest, from the heart stuff than this. This is great. Go on.
This is not pre-planned. These are your direct responses now.
I promise you, Carl did not know what we were going to do. He never knows what we're going to do, and he always answers honestly. That is the beauty of Carl. It's not an act.
What is your view, Carl, on New York's former mayor becoming Sir Rudy Giuliani? Sir Rudy Giuliani.
Is he happy with it?
He appears to be pleased with it.
Let it go ahead.
Fair enough. Okay.
Go ahead. Oh, he's genius.
Okay.
Is he happy with it? He's like your nan.
Yeah, yeah. What do you make of Michael Greco's character Beppe being axed from EastEnders? Problem for you?
The whole soap thing. What's it's back in Coronation Street, isn't she? What's her name?
Who? Bet.
Lynn's. She thought she'd go off and be a bigger star.
Yeah.
All went wrong, and now she's coming back.
Yeah. Always happens, doesn't it?
Beppe will be back.
Yeah.
No one really cares.
Sure.
What was the van reply? That was the guy.
The White Van Man says, obviously they feel the character has run its course, but I think he's a pretty good actor and I can't understand why. So, I mean, obviously there's a White Van Man there who's also got an opinion on script development.
The through line, yeah.
The narrative through line of soap opera.
The 12-week narrative, the arc really showed itself up.
There's two last ones I want your opinion on here. What do you make of a cat that's been cloned in a secret 2.5 million research project?
To find out what?
If they can clone cats, yeah.
Have they had to hurt it?
Sorry?
Have they had to sort of hurt it to do that?
Have they had to hurt it?
Yeah, or is it just scraping its tongue for some stuff?
I think the cat's fine. The point is that they're cloning another creature which is potentially very dangerous. Have you seen that film where they bring Hitler back?
That cat, what if that cat turned out to be a world dictator?
Exactly. What do you reckon of cloning generally, Carl? You concerned about it?
Well, I think they're cloning for organs, they just grow them for the,
Do you know what cloning means?
Yeah, it's when you, make something else that's the same, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to do any harm.
Okay. And finally...
Especially on the World Council.
Yeah. Finally, what do you make of some city workers who were caught bonking in the glass lifts of the Lloyd's building?
What do I make of it?
Yeah. Is that a problem for you? Do you think that's unprofessional?
Was it the lunch break, or...?
I think it was lunch break, yeah.
Alright.
It's their own time, I think, fair enough. It only takes 45 seconds to go from the bottom to the top. Is that a problem? They moved quickly. They acted, on instinct. Do you think fair enough? If that's their natural instincts and they're both consenting, you think fine?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks very much, Carl.
Thanks very much, Carl.
Carl, we'll have more of Carl's world-weary opinions next time on the show. Listen, I want to play a track that I love.
I can't wait for this track. It's by a great band. Just going to do it before Steve does this. Coming up, we're going to give away a great game. I'm sort of clearing out my flat with Tony, and then we've got a lot of junk there. And we're going to give away a great game coming up. You've seen it, Steve. You're excited.
I'm looking forward to that.
Look forward to that. It's a board game that we're all going to sign. It's going to be signed by Gerv, Smirch, KP the K-Man. So you could win that.
The classic album Copper Blue by Sugar. Listening to it again recently, reminded how good it was.
Yeah.
This is the track Hoover Dam. Play it.
White Stripes. Fell in love with a girl on XFM 104.9. It's 2:10. Right, okay, that's the first hour out of the way. Next hour, Steve, I've got a game to give away. As I say, I'm sort of cleaning out my flat a little bit, and we were going to throw away stuff, and I went, oh, whoa. Don't throw that away.
Yeah.
I can give that away on the show, because XFM don't give us anything to give away.
No.
Does anyone care what happens weekends?
No.
There's people coming here going, oh, he hasn't turned up, fiddling with stuff, fire alarms going off, the library. But we were looking for a track we played a couple of weeks ago on the same album, and it's gone.
Yeah, it's been pinched since we last played it.
This is I can't believe it, they're moving, that's like a tip out there, and I have to...
No, it is a disgrace, Carl.
It is. It is absolutely, it's disgusting.
How many of the DJs on this station have won multiple awards like Ricky Gervais?
Yeah. How
many of them are double award winning?
To have someone of my caliber. I hurt my ankle, didn't I? Moving a chair. I had to even move my own chair in here, and I hit my ankle. That'll teach me not to wear socks.
Yeah.
The socks would have just taken out the sting.
I think just walking around barefoot generally is nudging. You know, there's the needles, Rick, there's all sorts of
I know, or that, well, Posh does it in her video, she walks around barefoot.
Oh, you love
My
it.
heart's got a mind of its own.
Ricky absolutely loves the current Victoria Beckham.
Yeah,
film.
I like the sentiment, my heart's got a mind of its own. It's like, doesn't matter what I'm thinking in my head, my heart says something else. Of course, what we did for the last week was change the lyrics.
Just walked
as you
around
do.
for ages.
Does anyone else do that? Just go, things like, my wife's got a cock of her own. Things like that, and,
Seriously, hours of amusement.
just changing it, just there.
My knob's
Got some balls of its own. We're doing that for a week. Meant to be working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, you were going to give away this game, Rick.
Yeah, it's called Donuts, and it's a game for 4 players, or 2 to 4
Have
players.
you ever played it yourself?
We sort of got it for a party, and I watched some people,
Can I try and sell it to punters who may...
Yeah, go on.
Play the part of a crazy donut-loving elephant in this hilarious game of fun and fast action.
Yeah. You put on a little elephant thing, and you have to pull up get up the donuts.
Brilliant. Can you be the first elephant to get all your donuts on your trunk? Be the first one... the first one is...
Sorry, this isn't a sex game, by the way. There's no euphemisms there.
Some of this is a bit slightly damaged, the packaging, that's why I couldn't read that.
You're joking?
Yeah. But don't worry, because you're not
everything in
asking
there?
much for this, are you? We'll start at £5. Bear in mind, it'll be signed by double award-winning Ricky Gervais.
No, of course it's free.